Is it up there?
It's on my in the backpack that I'm holding. Oh God! What the?
Hey people. Ducks here. In the year of 3400 BC, the settlers of Mesopotamia have created the first ancient scripts. Without them, the exciting world as we know it today would not exist. Inspired by these literary miracles of old, a group of Czech alcoholics have transmuted the scripts into binary code, creating what turned out to be both a game and the leading cause of male impotence. DayZ is a game about running, an activity us gamers have long since transcended. Occasionally, the marathons are interrupted by the base level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. To add a necessary level of complexity, zombies have also been added, and are equipped with the most advanced artificial intelligence of our age, making them cunning and tenacious. Despite its age, DayZ still remains popular to this day, even though, in the quiet of your heart and in the solitude of your soul, you know that it aged like fine milk. I'm personally not a fan of DayZ because of the ever-present danger of being in someone's crosshairs. You never know when a 10,000 hour DayZ pro is sitting in a bush and waiting to press that left mouse button as you pass by. The feeling is similar to the unease of an unaccompanied child at a YouTuber convention. And I don't mean that DayZ is bad, okay? I'm not here to diss on DayZ too much. PvE server owners try to answer the age-old question of how much enjoyment can we squeeze out of a game that has the complexity of a 1x1 Rubik's Cube. Many such server owners have committed the unforgivable sin of turning an exciting game into a mundane second job. So after several days of working in the DayZ sweatshops, the 3 brain cells in my head managed to produce a coherent thought. Please, let me explain to you why DayZ PVE isn't what you think it is. While in vanilla DayZ your main purpose is survival, oh god, your main goal in PvE is the development of your financial freedom. And if vanilla DayZ is filled with occasional dopamine spikes, PvE is a dopamine spiral. To fully understand what PvE has to offer, I went to the Shining Beacon, the most populated, well-modded server I could find. And that server is called Middle-Aged Gamers. I find the name very appropriate because no zoomer's gonna play this. It's called middle-aged gaming because by the time you get some form of progression in the game, you too will be middle-aged. Unless you already are. In that case, you'll be dead. DayZ PVE is characterized by an assortment of mods that collectively and individually enhance your DayZ experience. And the quality of each server solely depends on where the server owner lands in the autism spectrum. The mods can range from tame to downright diabolical. True story, the first modded server I played on started out great at first. I got to fight a bunch of demons and got camped by a giant ghost bear and an equally massive zombie wolf. But a few days later, the head admin decided to add bad dragon toys as meta weapons. And while I do appreciate the culture, I didn't want to spend another 20 hours blurring out every single pixel in the video because I already had to do that for the Darkest Dungeon. And despite this server being based in the UK, it surprisingly doesn't have that mod. Hello? Can you hear me? Listen, I made a mistake. The server isn't in the UK, it's in Germany. I just learned this now during my thinking session. Did you say something? The thinking is too loud. Listen, I gotta go. Like and subscribe and hey, can you cash app me $50? Your first priority on any new server should be to acquaint yourself with the nearest trader. Traders are the beating heart of any PvE server. And since you'll be visiting them so much, it's important that they have a cool and flashy exterior. So you'll imagine my surprise and disgust when instead of being greeted by a Starbucks cashier supermodel, I was forced to use the self-checkout. Your local satanic corporation might try to convince you that machines are going to replace us, but I disagree. There's just some things that a lubricated robot can't replace. Wait a second. Why did I put this in the script? Oh, fuck. I want Milkies, damn it. Never forget what they took from you. Traders offer an assortment of all essential items, from the inexpensive drip to the not so inexpensive vehicles. Oh look, free ketchup. Oh no. At each trader, you'll find trash containers and donation bins, in which you'll find a plethora of discarded equipment and supplies. And while it is free food, the ketchup that I have subjected my metabolic system to has a very high chance of giving you cholera, which it did. My character's inability to properly digest the sweet yet mild aroma of bottled tomato is high-key outrageous. My first 2 weeks of playing were spent digging through other people's trash, drinking expired ketchup bottles, and scrounging up discarded ammo to sell to the traders for mere pennies. After exploring the the self-checkout convenience store, we can begin what we will be doing for the rest of our remaining youthful years.
Getting paid.
And the best way to do that is to confiscate guns from all around the map, which would be an easy task if not for...
Oh my fucking god!
Hey guys, Ducks here. This is bad. Really bad. In your adventures, you'll encounter a mix of zombies, demons, and zombie demons, accurately reflecting the world we live in today. How you'll deal with these advanced threats all depends on your playstyle, arsenal,
Easy.
and the number of chromosomes in your party.
Oh my god,
Are you okay? For instance, you could stealthily move around the area and pick off tough enemies from a distance with a suppressed high-caliber weapon, or you can run headfirst into a pack of rabid grizzly bears, get shot by your own brother, and then, while your unconscious brain is slowly oozing out of your head, get swarmed by the entire map, all while some sick individual is driving away with all the guns you came to collect. But would you believe me if I told you that there's an intricate, ultra-efficient way of dealing with 100% of the enemies in MAG? Get your notebooks out for this one because I will not be repeating myself. This method involves approaching a climbable object and pressing the space key. It's the biggest one on your keyboard, you can't miss it. Or if you're a console player, simply open your window and jump through it. It's a joke, YouTube, it's a joke! The DayZ AI is sadly not advanced enough to give the same fence jumping, wall climbing NPCs the ability to climb anything else. From an elevated position, you can clean up literally any point of interest if you have enough ammo. But if you climb a shipping container, you won't have to fire a single bullet. Simply open both sides and stand in the middle. The enemies will slowly but surely funnel into the container and stand directly underneath you. Once it's full, simply close both doors and climb back down. This method also has the secondary effect of leaving a nice surprise to the next player passing through. I must warn you though, if you are spotted doing this or openly boast about it, you won't get into immediate trouble, but you will end up on someone's shit list. You'll know that you're on an admin's shit list because they'll be unable to resist the urge to give you a passive-aggressive remark. More on that later. In case you somehow haven't figured it out by now, every custom enemy is just a roided up reskin of the normal DayZ infected. And ironically, they're less dangerous, because each and every single one of the normal infected has one extra long fingernail that they never trim, which they will weaponize to give you a bleed on every first attack. Among the zombies, mutants, and oh so intelligent wild animals,
Oh my... Okay.
there is one more enemy that I didn't talk about, and that is...
Oh, hi there.
other people. This may be PvE, but as soon as two parties find themselves in proximity to one another, all niceties suddenly vanish and it becomes a race of who can steal the good stuff first. And with the ever-rising player count, this eventually becomes a problem. Remember, each car that passes you is a car that's being filled up with your stuff. My honk always gets misinterpreted as a greeting when I'm actually trying to warn them. Don't touch my stuff. Pretty please. Thankfully, there's an abundance of loot in each location that can put a mukbang YouTuber's feeding trough to shame. Oh my god, what the hell happened to you? Selling all of these weapons will be your primary source of cheap dopamine. Just like everyone else, I wake up in the morning and I go to work. Like a rat conditioned to pull levers for dopamine hits, I drive to Tizzy to satiate my addiction. When it comes to making fat stacks, apart from stealing,
we can hunt the defenseless ones.
Initially, your victims will consist mostly of wild poultry. But later, when you find a high-caliber weapon, the sound of a roaming pack of bears will instantly cause you to salivate. In fact, all animals are very valuable, as long as you don't run them over.
Oh my god!
Oh!
He has to learn.
What the fuck?
Skinning roadkill is too messy a job for someone who can't handle a bit of ketchup. And if you're tired of searching the entire map for game, you can hunt in a certain forest conveniently placed all the way across the map in the bottom left corner. Although there is a minor issue. In true German fashion, you can only use the German arsenal for hunting, meaning crossbows and knives.
Why?
Now, I know what you're gonna ask. How do you hunt bears with a crossbow, given its long reload time and small damage output? And the answer is quite simple. You bring 3 of them. Also, you can't use night vision, so you'll need to rely purely on your failing eyesight. With all these restrictions, you would think that hunting in this zone is extremely profitable. Well, it's not. This is in fact the worst way to make money, so don't do it. In fact, it's so terrible that the next thing I'm gonna talk about beats it by about 6 times and is the safest method of them all. And that is the true gentleman's exhilarating sport of fishing. Fishing is better. Fishing can simply be summarized as how patiently can you perform a mundane job for below average pay. And if you somehow get bored of holding the left mouse button all day, you can pull funny pranks on the other fishermen around you. The life of a humble femboy fisherman might be looked upon with disdain and mockery, but those people haven't seen a miracle.
What? Dude, look at the size of this thing.
Fishing is also a great way to measure your karma. If you're a godless cretin like me, you'll mostly fish out badly damaged boots and cooking pots, while occasionally getting blessed with a jackpot great white shark. In God's plan, I was originally meant to receive only 1, so when I eventually fished out another, through the clever use of DayZ coding, God promptly took it away. So no matter what you do, don't drop a giant fish on the ground. DayZ... I can't get through this part. DayZ modding is like giving grandma plastic surgery. DayZ modding is like giving your grandma plastic surgery. No matter how much Botox she injects, you can never get rid of the dust and broken bones underneath. Just like the old saying goes, you can put lipstick on a pig, but you still won't want to kiss it. And look, I'm not disappointed. I'm impressed that this technical masterpiece is somehow not falling apart.
Oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
As the sun sets, I take a moment to reflect on life as I ask, why? As I stare out into the murky waters, I want nothing but to dive into the gentle sea to free the dolphin inside of me. I have become Fish Lord. If you choose to loot cities and villages, you'll find a number of useful and exotic items, be it for crafting, base building, or just collection purposes. I never really built my own base. Instead, I opted to squat at the local Mexican cartel's illegal wheat farm. Every night, I had to endure the sound of death and torture in the streets, but I slept peacefully knowing the accommodations were free. Although I never figured out why I woke up naked in a bathtub full of ice once. These guys have some awful pranks, I swear. If you're not ready to dish out a premium price for a home, you can always rent a room at the MAG Hotel. Having a base as a solo is too much work. And if there's anything I learned from midlife crisis YouTubers, it's that you can live in your own car. So if you need extra storage, buying an extra car and keeping it parked is the most practical choice. Later on, you can always trade your extra cars to the new players. Speaking of trading, there are many items found in cities that other players need, but are too lazy to look for. But the rules of the free market do not apply on this server, so put on this hat, comrade. It's time for a little lesson. Here in the Communist Republic of MAG, the law of supply and demand doesn't exist. We don't know of such thing. Remember, comrade, not 1 penny over the established price. If you see someone selling for even 1% higher, we shall send our highest IQ individuals into attack mode and have them flood the global chat with passive-aggressive messages paired with the name of the capitalist pig dog. I kid you not when I say this. These are the exact words that came out of someone's mouth. Selling for profit is just scummy. And just so you know, these people hold grudges. And if you come across one, don't hate on them. It's not easy living with an undeveloped mind whose only gaming experience prior to DayZ is showering with your dad's simulator. In case you haven't noticed, we're getting into the negative part of the video now. The way a trader decides to who he or it is going to sell a highly sought after item is decided entirely on who called dibs first. I once offered double for a single punch card from someone who is selling 7 of them, but Eugene, who is sitting with his balls out in the just chatting section of the server, managed to type a 4-letter word before I could fight off the zombified population of Poland. Hold on, let me reload. Much better. Naturally, Eugene bought all 7 of them. Now I hear some of you saying, Dux, that's a fair business practice. Sure, what else are you gonna tell me, that the queen is dead? I did my own trading for a while until I realized that the time it takes me to meet up with Rakesh halfway across the world for a profit equivalent of 3 potatoes, I could loot the endgame military base, come back, sell off the guns, and still be in time for dinner with your mother. Trading is all about finessing people, an art that many people learn but very few master.
Look at the way it's looking at you. Mama, mama.
I ain't nobody's mama.
I mean, what do you want to spend? 350 or 400?
I would love to spend 350.
Then spend 350.
350 and feed pics.
Whoa. Whoa.
Last offer.
Don't listen to my partner here. Ignore
I'm
that.
serious. Feet.
I gotta
Feet.
go.
Feet. No.
But trading isn't entirely bad. I met a few interesting people.
Don't call me mama, bro.
Got a black market car to flex on the poor with, and for a small price of 10 boxes of nails, I learned the grapefruit technique. And not all of the community is middle-aged. I realized this when, during a trade negotiation, I set up a spot to meet and got a reply that said, "Okay, bet." After which, I increased the price. No cap. Oh, and about the community. As a new player, people have gone out of their way to give me free stuff and answer general questions. Most of the time, people are good fun and cool enough to banter with. That is, when they're actively not threatening, harassing, or bullying you.
Okay, how much inventory space does it have?
Yeah, it's not me that's the problem, bud.
That's not to say that the community is entirely bad, it's actually mostly pleasant.
How about we all just sleep with each other, like right here?
Ooh.
We all just make a big old cuddle puddle.
Cuddle puddle? Did you just say that?
Yeah.
That sounds so sick.
Yeah, we don't need a fire. We got body heat keeping us warm.
We're like penguins in the Antarctic.
Just know that the friend you make today can turn out to be a commissar tomorrow. Hey guys, you know Murphy? He was a pretty cool dude. Anyway, he came up with this law which he named after himself, and it says, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So, on the day of the 14th of July, 2024, tragedy struck the Chernaris MAG server. 2 shooters have attacked the Green Mountain trader. Thankfully, the admins were quick to arrive at the scene and ban them. It only took them 4 business days, and frankly, I'm surprised that could even happen. A server with less funding, less experience, and less staff has managed to get safe zones right, but this one can't. Even in the hunting zone, they managed to disable guns, but not in the trader zones. Speaking of Jannies, apart from occasionally moderating the server, admins host events and giveaways. And for the low price of pledging yourself as someone's Discord kitten, your chances of being a winner rise significantly. Admins enforce behavioral rules that are entirely arbitrary.
Hey, that's not very nice.
Ban James, please.
Occasionally, you'll see someone's Discord kitten rage bait a new player and get away with it. But if you dare call someone who's actively threatening you mean, you will be banned for at least 24 hours. Getting banned doesn't anger me, but it does make my pet hamster very upset. The only thing that you're allowed to do is sit there and take it. If you do anything that a docile sheep wouldn't do, then you're equally as bad as the guy doing the original crime. In fact, you can look up DayZ PVE trolling on YouTube and see exactly what I mean. All this scavenging, trading, farming, building, and murdering is meant to prepare you for one very important thing, and that is... So, you wanted to talk about the black market? Well, don't. Because if you do, I will break your kneecaps. Oh no! And I will twist your nipple. Oh my god. Oh. Go on. Don't talk about it. It's against the rules. The new players must lose their progress when they enter the black market. Let them die. Okay, I think I can let you go now. Sorry guys, I can't talk about the end game. You'll just have to figure it out by yourselves. And there's nothing you can do to make me talk. Nope, not telling. Very well, you've convinced me. Underground bunkers and the black market are endgame areas with extremely high risk.
Oh my god!
Oh my!
And moderate reward. Inside the bunkers, your biggest obstacle isn't the endless waves of enemies you'll face down there. It's the 90% frame drop, combined with the risks that two mentally stunted teammates can bring. This is the following etiquette for endgame zones. Number 1, don't shoot your friends. Number 2, don't go AFK in the middle of a fight if your girlfriend calls you on your phone. And lastly,
Oh, I'm down again.
Number 3, close all the doors before you leave an area, unless the other group waiting outside is whining. In that case, leave every single door wide open for them. I don't really like bunkers. It's not that you're just essentially playing a janky version of Left 4 Dead with bullet sponge enemies, or that both bunkers are locked behind an item that's nearly impossible to acquire. The real kick in the nuts is that some wannabe game designers in their infinite wisdom thought it'd be a cool thing to put a lethal jumping puzzle at the exit in a game that wasn't even designed to let you jump in the first place. For the bunkers, you need a group of people, but for the black market, you need an entire army. It's so dangerous, in fact, that people take regular trips to reclaim lost gear. It's also the only place where you can buy aircraft and endgame weapons. Discussing anything about the black market will get you banned. So if you ask, nobody's going to tell you how to find it, but I will. The order doesn't hold much sway with me. The entrance is right here. I will now inevitably get banned from the server because I'm stupid and fat and ugly. I prefer giving you crucial information that will save you hours of playtime rather than obey some real-life NPCs mad with power. For the ultimate climax, I will tell you about my favorite feature. There is a mod that forces you to sleep. At first, you'll be slightly dozing off, and later, you'll go fully unconscious. Whatever you are doing at the time will not matter. Fighting for your life? Power nap time. Driving very fast? Oh look, a tree. I have witnessed the tragic loss of life caused by exhaustion, and the victim was a man who was just trying to cook some breakfast. I'm convinced that whoever thought this mod was a good idea is the type of individual who eats sand from their cat's litter box while it's using it. With all of this, I can confidently say that DayZ PVE is a very janky and very basic MMORPG, at least on this server. You have exploration, PvE, massive community, big open world, mounts, collectibles, player trade, fashion, role-playing, an eternal grind, and all the rest of the MMO slop you can ask for. The only thing that's missing is the damage numbers. But more importantly, do I recommend playing on MAG? No! Don't get me wrong, I love DayZ PVE, but this juice just ain't worth the squeeze. DayZ is beautiful in its own outdated way, but it's no longer enough to satisfy my brainworm. Every PvE server is like a DIY project. Everyone will do it differently, but it will never be the polished, well-manufactured product that it's trying to emulate. It makes it even harder to recommend this server when the previous one treated me so well, and still does to this day. But if you're a fan of communism and people who sip on pure estrogen along with their homemade breakfast cum porridge, then by all means, give it a try. Wherever you decide to play, remember that DayZ is old, and even if it wasn't, it's still an Eastern European game, so the jank isn't a bug, but a feature. As for me, this video could have been out 5 months ago, but the gooning sesh got out of hand. Rest assured that it will happen again. Thank you for watching and liking this video. You liked it, right? More content to come, I hope, so stay tuned. And a humongous thank you to the people who have already supported me in these trying times. Okay, bye.